Hi everyone, WookieCookieAnJel here with something different today. Recently I made a vlog about my trip to London with my cousin to see FX, and it was just so much fun to do that. And I just enjoyed it a lot. So I just thought to myself I'd do something differently, because I've been doing unboxings for a while now. I started with just UKISS unboxings because that was my main boys group at the time, and slowly but surely I already mentioned that there would be some 100% seeping in through that, which happened. Told you it would. But along the way a lot has changed. As you might have seen from the unboxings, I also started to buy different kind of groups from different groups. I started to buy albums from different groups. For instance, I got JJ Project's Bounce, I got BAP's Power, I got Block B's Blockbuster. It's not a lot of them, but I did start buying albums from different groups. So you can imagine a lot has changed since I started doing unboxing videos, starting from just UKISS to adding 100%, because 100% became my second bias group, to my newest bias group, which is Boys Republic, and also adding some different groups in between because I happen to really like their songs or their concepts for certain albums. So with this in mind, I thought, why not do a video in which I explain how I got into K-pop and how I got into my favorite groups. So we'll start with the first section, which is how I got into K-pop. I think it was late 2008 that I heard an English version from Always, from Big Bang. I think I was playing Maple Story at the time. Yeah, I probably was, because it was a Maple Story MV kind of thing, with Always in the background. And I really liked that song. My younger brother soon started to like their other songs, and he showed me the Korean version and also different songs such as Haru Haru, which I loved, and Dirty Cash. Dirty Cash was just so amazingly funny. And also I think somewhere in between Lollipop might have been a little bit further along the way. But yeah, I was totally into J-rock at the time, so think L'Arc-en-Ciel, Gakto, those kind of things. I was actually a big fan of Gakto, but I never really bought CDs from any Japanese artists. So yeah, but even though I was into J-rock, I really liked the concepts that Big Bang used, and I really loved the song, so it just stuck with me, and that's basically where it started. I wouldn't have called myself a K-pop fan at that time, not at the moment, but at that time, because I wasn't really researching them yet, but that was the start. So it started with Big Bang. Around 2009, I started to research K-pop on my own, and I found Super Junior, which was my first bias group. I found Sorry Sorry and Supergirl, and at the time it was really confusing because I didn't know that SJM was like a subgroup of Super Junior. I didn't know anything about that. Yeah, I just started getting into them, and I just really loved Sorry Sorry and Supergirl, and after that I started to find a few more songs, and I think I absolutely loved Don Don. So yeah, it just went from there. But it was really confusing with Super Junior and Super Junior M, and I don't know how I managed to start to like it when it was that confusing, but I did. And it was around that time that I got hold back a year in high school. So I lost all my friends that I had been with since freshman year. Um, and I lost them, and none of them liked K-pop anyway. They did like J-rock, by the way. So yeah, you kind of grow into that, obviously. But yeah, I got held back, and I found a new friend. And this friend happened to like a lot of the things I did, like Devil May Cry. We were both obsessed with Devil May Cry. Dante, come on. But also K-pop, and she actually happened to like Big Bang and Super Junior as well. And that was just so amazing, so amazing. And just because I had that friend that I could talk about Super Junior with her, and she would understand me. This is the moment where I became a real fan, and we just together we started to become real K-pop fans, and we even found different groups, which was at the time my second boys group, tracks. SM Entertainment. We were stuck at SM Entertainment. Big Bang didn't really do it for us at the time. I think it did more for her because she was also a very big 21 fan. But I stuck more with SM Entertainment. And it was just amazing. And after that happened, I started to buy albums. I think around 2010, I started to buy Super Junior Tracks albums. And that's basically how I started collecting. So, the next question is then, how did I get into my favorite groups? UKISS, 100%, and Wiz Republic. I had to think of that. Wow, that's bad. But anyway, how did I get into them? I'm going to start with UKISS. UKISS, well, let's see, I think it was after high school. Yeah, after high school. Around 2011, after I graduated, I went to university. So I lost all my contact with my other friend again. But I didn't lose my interest for K-pop because it was just so deeply grounded into me. I loved it. So I was carrying around those nice little wristbands that I have here. Those things. I usually wear them. I don't wear them at the moment, but yeah, I was wearing those. I had a beautiful little Yowook transportation card holder, and because Yowook was my ultimate bias at the time still. Yowook was my ultimate bias at the time, and it's just after I started university, I got new friends, and I soon discovered that I was studying Japanese, and I discovered that a lot of Japanese students who studied with me were actually K-pop fans, and SM Entertainment was one of the major ones, like YG and SM Entertainment. It were just the major ones at the time. So yeah, I found just a lot of people who liked K-pop, and it was just amazing. It was amazing. And I think late 2011, I actually discovered UKISS through the Finally song. Finally, which is a Brave Brothers song featuring Kevin and Alexander from UKISS. And I completely fell in love with just the vibe of it, and Kevin's voice in particular, because his voice is the one you hear most. I keep looking down, by the way, for the script, but yeah, and I started to research them a little more, and I found AJ, and I just completely fell in love, head over heels, with his smile and his rap, and I fell in love with all the other members, with their looks, with their talents, and it's just amazing, and I just loved them. But it wasn't really a Kiss Me yet. So it's not long after that I got invited to by a friend to come along with them to Paris to go to Music Bank in Paris, and that was the show in which UKISS was performing. And so I was like, I know UKISS, and they also had SHINee and Girls' Generation, all these bands that I knew. So I just figured, why not? I'd go. And I went. And it was my first K-pop concert. I have the DVD for it over here. Music Bank in Paris. I'm so happy I found this, because I can relive it, because I kind of lost all my fan cams, which really sucks. Looking at my head, at the back of my head now. But yeah, I loved them so much more after that. And during that trip, I met a different elf friend. I was still quite into Super Junior at the time. UKISS was just starting. But yeah, after the concert, I definitely became Kiss Me. But I met a girl who was also an elf, and she invited me to go with her and another friend to Super Show 4 in Paris. And I went, and it was my second K-pop concert, and it's just, during that trip, I started collecting UKISS albums, which sounds really weird, because when I went to see UKISS, I was buying Super Junior albums, and when I went to see Super Junior, I was buying UKISS albums. But yeah, it's during that period that I became the biggest Kiss Me ever, and Super Junior and tracks were kind of like going down, and UKISS was just going up, 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 up. Then the story of how I became... Basically how I became 100% fan, how I became perfection, is quite different actually. Around 2013 I switched studies. I went from studying Japanese to studying English, which I still do, by the way. And I think that during that time I just started to become so much less interested in Super Junior. I had no contact at all anymore. Well, not at all. I barely had any contact with my friends who were elves, and we occasionally met, but it was different from when I was in high school and I had my friend around me all the time, and when we were studying the same things, you just met a lot more often. So yeah, I just started to lose a bit of interest, and I just started to like UKISS so much more. Yeah, I just started to like them much more. Super Junior still has a special place in my heart, because they are the first group that I ever liked enough to buy albums from. But that kind of just stopped in 2014. I stopped buying their albums. I'm pretty sure you've seen it already. I've never ever done an unboxing of a Super Junior album. I just stopped. I just stopped. I don't collect them anymore. There's just so many to collect anyway, but yeah. The most particular reason why I stopped buying Super Junior albums is because I was buying UKISS albums, but then I got into 100%, and it happened so fast. A lot faster than it happened with UKISS, and I just figured that I wanted to buy their albums. I figured that out really quickly. So I just wanted to buy their albums, and since UKISS always had a priority with me, still has, I just couldn't afford to buy Super Junior albums, UKISS albums, and 100% albums, not knowing that 100% wouldn't be getting any comeback in like a year. I'm kind of pissed, by the way. Sorry for that. But yeah, I just couldn't afford it, so I stopped. And I switched to 100%, and it's just weird. I heard about them from a friend. I think I heard about them in 2012 already, around the time they debuted it. They had their debut, and I heard it from a friend who was also a Kiss Me, who still kissed me, and she's my best friend, and I love her so much. But I just didn't get interested in them at the time. I mean, I liked their concept very much. That Boy was just an amazing concept. But I didn't get really serious about them until Bang the Bush. When I saw the trailer, the teaser for Bang the Bush, for the Beat song, I completely fell head over heels in love with them, and there was no doubt about it. I became a perfection. That's how I got into 100%. So the story of how I became a royal family is actually quite, it's quite funny and quite tragic, actually. It happened 2015, this year. A lot has happened this year, actually. I will, yeah, I gained a third place boys group, which I never ever thought I would. It happened so quickly, and like I said, it was just so funny and so tragic. I first heard about Boys Republic when I was watching a K-pop English video on YouTube. It's not on YouTube anymore, by the way, but yeah. And they had this little part from their song, You Are Special, in which they were singing Don't Push the Favor Down, which was the English feel, by the way. But they had this really, really dumb dance move thingy, and it stuck with me, and at some point I decided to just look it up and see if the entire freaking song had those dance moves in it, and they didn't. But I found out that I actually really, really, really liked the song, so it stuck with me. And it took a little while before I started to get into their other songs, but that's because I was kind of hesitant to look up their other songs, because I was scared they would become a boys group. I saw the potential from that one song, and I couldn't use another boys group. Well, guess who failed? Yeah, eventually I did look up their songs, and I realized that I absolutely loved every single song that they had an MV of. So, yeah, it happened literally days before they came to have a concert in Amsterdam. Days. And I couldn't go because it was just so expensive, and I'm just a broke student. I can barely afford my albums. It's an addiction. It's like alcohol or drugs you get addicted to, or my tattoos, by the way. I'm so addicted to getting tattoos as well. But I can't control my addictions because I have no money. Except for my K-pop album collection, I cannot control that. But yeah, they came, and I couldn't go, and I'm still quite heartbroken over that. So, to get over that, I quite impulsively bought both Party Rock and Video Game, which are their promo CDs and are not as readily available as the other albums are, so yeah. I never regretted it though, because I'm so happy. The only thing is that my Party Rock CD got a bit damaged thanks to my postman. But other than that, I'm just so happy I got them, and I'm sad I didn't get to see them, but I'm hopeful they will come back sometime. So, who knows? And then the other things that happened during 2015 is that I started talking with other friends who were fans of different groups, and one of them is actually in my study as well. She's at university, studies English as well, and she's a Block B fan, and through her I started to like Block B very, very much. Very much. I'm actually planning to get like quite some of their albums eventually. But yeah, I think that was around 2013. No, it was probably, yeah, around the time I switched studies and I met her. So in 2015 I started talking to a friend who was so sweet to send me one of their albums. But by talking to her, I started to like Teen Top, which is a brother band of 100%. So it's just getting bigger and bigger. I'm starting to collect more and more different groups at this point. But as long as they're not a bias group, I won't buy all their albums, just the albums that contain the songs that I really, really like. With UKISS, there are some albums that I'm not too fond of, but I still buy them because they're UKISS, and 100% hasn't gotten to that stage yet, but they're not getting their comeback yet. I don't know why. It's been a year since Sunkiss, and I'm gonna come back because my little pile of 100% albums is just sad and small. And the same thing with Boys Republic. They don't have a lot of albums yet, so they haven't gotten to that point yet. But UKISS has so many albums. There's some albums that I just don't like that much, and you can't like everything, even if it is your ultimate bias group. You can't. But because of all this, because of all that's happened since late 2008 up to now, up to including now, this very moment, is basically how I started to love K-pop so much, and how I started to really collect albums as well. And it makes me very, very happy. And it's just, I have a beautiful collection, and I'm going to keep collecting for as long as I'm able to, at least. We'll see how well that goes. But yeah, that was all I had to say about how I got into K-pop and how I got into my amazing 3 boys groups who I recommend to you. UKISS has been around for a while, and they have done all these different concepts, and they really, really know how to pull it off. And I'm just very, very proud of them for getting to this point. 100% is the same thing. They've done a variety of concepts, and they do them so well. And they have some of the best singers. I think their vocalists are just amazing, and it's just, they deserve so much more. And with Boys Republic is just like, they're so funny, and they're just so adorable, and very, very hardworking, and you can tell. So they have some amazing vocalists as well. UKISS does as well, obviously. I'm sorry, biased much. But yeah, it's just, they're amazing, and I definitely recommend you to have a look at them and see for yourself whether there's some potential for you to become a Kiss Me or a Perfection or a Royal Family. They're great fandoms, let me tell you that. They really are. So, well, thank you for watching, and who knows, maybe there will be a different kind of video, something like this. So yeah, I will see you again soon with another video.